Today we're making donuts from scratch, including the sprinkles. You've already seen the final result, so let's go back and see how we got there. It's almost time. I am so proud, so pleased. Honestly, like the sprinkles are true magic. Like I thought they might look maybe too homemade, but I think that's part of the charm is that they look homemade. They're super cute. I'm ready to take a bite. Let's get the true taste tester in here. Kramer. The true taste tester is my husband, Kramer. All right, first things first, we're gonna make the icing. I made two kinds of icing for our donuts, chocolate and lemon. To make donut icing, just combine confectioner's sugar and water with whatever flavor you want. The icing can harden pretty fast, so make sure you work quickly. If it hardens, the sprinkles won't stick. Obviously, before you can frost donuts, you have to fry them. So, this is my deep fryer. I know not everybody has one, and it's perfectly fine to fry these in a pot. The key is just to make sure your oil's at 350 or around there. Make sure you have a thermometer and just keep checking the oil because as you add cold donuts into the oil, the temperature of the oil is going to drop. And you'll see that when I get to frying. Please do not do what I did and add the donuts to the oil with your bare hands. You're going to want to fry the donuts for about 1.5 minutes on each side. You can go ahead and err on the side of caution for these and pull them out a little bit earlier than you think you need to because they'll keep cooking after they leave the oil. So what you're looking at is actually my second batch of donuts. The first batch was absolutely terrible. And I ended up making another batch later, but we'll get to that. Okay, so you've got to pipe the sprinkles out the day before you plan to use them.
This is how they make luxury sprinkles?
Yes, this is luxury sprinkles. This is turning out okay. Oh, shit. I need something to like weigh it down. Butter. There we go.
You sure you don't want me to go buy you some sprinkles?
Shut up. I'm using a piping tip here, but honestly I found that just cutting the tip off of a plastic bag or a piping bag worked best. This one looks like slime. See, I really messed up with the green. The piping tip was just way too big. I should have just used a plastic bag. Trying to do the dots with this tip was a total failure. As I'm sure you can probably tell, this whole process took forever. It's not about perfection, guys. It's about having fun, okay? Feeling tired. All right, okay. I am done. Now we just let these dry like overnight. My hands hurt so bad. The nice thing about this is like if they break or whatever, it's like fine because that's what we're gonna be doing. What I like about them actually is that they have like a flavor. Sometimes with sprinkles it tastes very chemically and waxy. These don't taste waxy at all. It's gonna take a lot for me to not eat all of these right now. Oh my God, seriously, stop me. All right, let's do this. Now this is some serious ASMR. Honestly, what I really like about these is they are like not uniform and I think that's gonna be really pretty on like the final product. Really pretty, it's gonna be so pretty. It was a lot of like effort, I think, for like, I mean, let's be real, the amount you get, which is not very much, but it's enough for the donuts. And I honestly think they're so cute. And I don't know, just like the fact that they're not like uniform, perfect looking sprinkles is like, I think the appeal. This is the happiest I've been in a couple of days. I really needed this. My dough has been rising in the fridge overnight. The sprinkles are, well, let's see. You guys, they kind of look like they're drying out. Gotta say, I am pretty pleased with how they're looking so far. All right, I'm gonna let these keep drying and we're gonna roll out our dough. Here, have a bite.
Tastes like sprinkles.
Great. All right, so here's that second batch. Not my favorite, but they did end up with sprinkles on them. This is what happens when I have to film alone. I do think part of the reason I didn't like this batch was because I let my KitchenAid do the kneading for me, and sometimes the KitchenAid has a tendency to over-knead the dough. That's my dog Paul in the background. He likes to hang out in the kitchen with me, and always make sure you get a little stretch in, or maybe a nap. I guess since I can't leave my house, this is good exercise. Okay, so this is how you actually make the icing for the sprinkles. Make sure you sift all of your confectioner's sugar, otherwise you'll have lumps in the piping bag when you're making the actual sprinkles. This is a very tedious process. Very pretty though. Beautiful, look at that. All right, that's pretty cool. I can see why it's worth sifting. Then you add some cornstarch, a little vanilla, some corn syrup, and some room temperature water. You might have to grab a spatula because it gets pretty thick to whisk. And then I had to ask Kramer to help me with the camera. Hey Kramer, do you have a sec to help, or if you're busy, that's fine. So can you see that?
Yeah, it's like exactly center.
Oh, it's great. Actually, I think I have to do one at a time. This is not very much. How many sprinkles do you need, really? Now you just divide the icing between however many colors you plan to make. It's kind of annoying to work with the icing, but just stick with it. And this is when my camera turned off.
The movie recording has been stopped automatically.
Okay, so I just hit record again.
Up here?
Yep.
Now you got a red dot.
All right, so this is the batch of donuts that I actually liked. I got the recipe from Brown Egg Baker. You can see how the dough's a lot softer. They're still a little wonky, but the flavor was awesome and they were nice and fluffy inside. For this batch, I just coated the entire donut in icing, and that's the way I like it. The recipe was supposed to mimic a Krispy Kreme donut, and they were pretty close. See, they look perfect on the inside. The outside could use a little work, but we'll get there. All right, I definitely don't need any donuts for a while.
Do you need me to go buy you some sprinkles?
I already have sprinkles from the store, but this is for fun.